Welcome back to Rally Point. I'm Simon Chaskovsky, and we have ourselves an ACAC South Division matchup between the SAIT Trojans and the Medicine Hat Rattlers. The Trojans will be hosting, as like I said, we are at Rally Point. The Trojans, we'll start with the home team here, as they are currently sitting at 5-8 on the season after going on a 3-game losing skid. They'll be trying to turn that around here as they play a team that is currently sitting around the bottom tier of the ACAC, but still a formidable opponent nonetheless. As all time against the Trojans, they are 6 wins, 15 losses. Not necessarily great, but showing that they can still beat one of the better teams in the ACAC, and they'll be trying to show that tonight as they bring all of their top players to the show. As we'll quickly highlight a couple of their players, I'm sure they'll have to rely on Annika Haberstock, one of their leaders in assist, setting up players all across the field there. And on the SAIT side of things, I'd expect a big game from Taryn Corkery specifically, as the Trojans will most likely have to rely on a lot of their star and veteran players. Another player, Leanne Arnott, is another person I'd expect. As things get ready to go behind me, we've got the starting lineups and the national anthem coming up. I'll be right back with you right after that. All right, once again, welcome back to Rally Point. With all that out of the way, we can finally get into the action as both teams get ready to go. We'll have to just see who will be getting the first serve of this one, as I'm sure it's just going to be super exciting, as both teams need a win here, as not necessarily a strong start or the start that either side would necessarily like, but a pretty good opportunity here for one of these teams to walk out of here with a very, very important win. It's currently looking like the Trojans will be getting the first serve, and it's going to be going to Grace Florence, one of the better players on this Trojan squad at it. And that'll do it, and we'll get underway. The Rattlers get ready to send it back across, sending a long, hard one over to the other side, not able to get it to go. That'll go off of a Rattler and out of bounds, and the Trojans will have the first point of this one. Florence will go back for another serve here. Didn't quite see who sent that spike out of bounds there. So we'll see if the Trojans can try and get a repeat. Send it across, it'll stay inside. Rattlers sending it over. Popped up. Florence keeps it alive as they try and keep this one in the air. Rattlers off the wall as that goes out of bounds. And the Rattlers will tie things right back up. Looks like a bit of miscommunication on the scoreboard. It should be 1-1. So that'll be Malaya Kletzel back there to send a serve over. She'll send that one far, a little too far in fact, as that one will end up going towards the Trojans. Going back to serve now is going to be, I believe that is going to be Taryn Corkery. Leads the Trojans in service aces, won't get one here. So that one's kept alive. They'll send it across. Trojans just barely able to keep it alive, but it'll be a free play for the Rattlers. Sending it over, popped up. Chance to attack. Trojans keep it in the air. Florence popped up. Rattlers stay alive. Sending it over once again, off the hands of a Trojan, and things are tied right back up at 2-2. Going back to serve here is going to end up being, I believe, that is Rebecca Scribner. Leads the Rattlers in service aces with 10. Won't get one here either, though, as that one goes right out of bounds. That's the second serve for the Rattlers that they've wasted, as that one goes right out the back. Sophia Ferguson is back to serve now. She'll send that one towards the middle. Rattlers keeping it in the air, sending it over. That one's going to get sent right back down, as a diving Corkery wasn't quite able to get there. As things are staying real close. The score is now 3-3 in the first set here at Rally Point. Annika Haberstock is back to serve now. Another one goes a little bit too far. A little bit of adjustment, bit of an adjustment period maybe here for the Rattlers playing in a new arena. As Leanne Arnott is going to go back to serve now. A little bit of conversation on the court here. Not too sure what that was about, but we'll get things underway once again. And she'll send this one over. It'll be kept alive. Popped up, sending it long. Corkery keeps it alive as an impressive dive there. Keeps the Trojans in this one. That one's getting topped over. Trojans. That'll be Boyles with a spike. That one's popped right back up. So they'll send it over for a free play for the Trojans. Florence, smooth move there to get it across. No luck. Another free play. Florence popping it up. Spike down. She'll find the corner. If the Trojans go up by 2, I think that's the biggest lead we've had so far either, as this has been a very close one. Going back to serve will be Leanne Arnott. She's had a couple in a row here. Dropped down right in the middle. So the Rattlers get a chance to attack. Popped in the air. Trojans able to keep it alive, but are going to give a free play to the Rattlers. They'll send it across to the other side. Ooh, didn't quite get all of that one, and the Trojans take double. Score is now 6-3, as Arnott is going to go back to serve for the third or fourth time in a row now, I think. That one's going to get topped over. Nobody was quite there to receive it for the Trojans. They were able to keep it in the air a little bit longer, but not quite long enough, as that one ends up dropping right down as the Rattlers make things a little bit closer, only down by 2. Still send it across. They'll be kept alive. Florence, she'll end up finding, believe that was Payne Van Dreisten, but she's not quite able to find that back line. Going back to serve once again will be Campbell Bosch. As she sends it over, popped up. Florence finds Boyles. They're going to end up saying this one was in, as that one finds that left line there. And the Trojans rebuild their lead a little bit more. Nice play there, as that one's going to get just tapped barely far enough to go off a hand and straight down, and she'll get another serve. She'll send it across, skin the top of the net. Barely kept alive, as that one's just going to pop off a hand and straight down. Trojans still leading by 2 points here. As that's Cadence Wiggins with the serve. Florence finding Corkery off the hands. Kept alive here. That's Olivia Jacobson. She'll end up finding Kletzel. Florence sending it back to Arnott. That one goes off the hands at the wall. Sent a little bit long. And the Trojans will get this ball right back. Going back to serve now is going to be Peyton Van Dreisten, the third year. Sending that one across. It'll be kept alive. Chance to tap it right over, but the Trojans keep it up. Ooh, and a bit of a mistake there as they tried to set her up for Peyton Van Dreisten, who had one knee on the ground, wasn't quite in a very good position to play it. And that one ends up going straight in the dirt. Olivia Jacobson is going to be back to serve now. She's going to send it across, kept alive by Boyles. Finds Florence, off the hands of Corkery, and straight down. Trojans now leading by 3. That'll send Grace Florence back to serve once again. She started the game for the Trojans. Has a chance to help extend their lead. Won't quite be able to on that one, though, as that one goes just sailing up by that right corner. With the chance to serve here, we'll once again see Kletzel. She's a second year from Moose Jaw. As she loads up and fires. That one's going to go straight out the back once again. So I'll be back-to-back, one from either team. Taryn Corkery will get another chance here. As that one goes right out the back, as both teams are just trading points here. Rebecca Scribner back to serve now. That one goes long once again, as we got a bit of a streak going, I think. We'll have to see if this one continues with Sophia Ferguson going back to serve now. Sending it across, it'll be kept alive. Spiked right down. That one ends up going off the hands of Annika Haberstock, but nobody there to recover it afterwards. And the Trojans will keep serving. Score is now 13-9 with Sophia Ferguson back to take it. She'll load up and fire. It'll be popped up. Sent over. Florence is there to recover it. Over to Ferguson. To Arnott. Popped up by, I believe that was Jacobson. So they'll set it up. It'll be kept alive, but not for too long, as Jaden Boyles wasn't quite able to reach it. That'll be Annika Haberstock going back to serve now. A fifth year. This one's kept alive. Florence sets up Arnott. And a well-placed spike there. Brings the Trojans lead up to, I believe it's 4 now. As after getting the point, she'll go back to serve. And sends it across. Nearly a big mistake by Medicine Hat, but they'll keep it alive afterwards. Florence topping it over. Not quite able to reach it, as they now bring their lead up to 5. And we're going to see our first timeout of this one, which makes quite a bit of sense after the early lead. We've seen the Trojans jump on very quickly, as it was very, very close for the first couple of serves. I believe it was 3-3 before the Trojans start to build a lead, and have not turned it back over since, as they have really, really excelled at defending the pressure of Medicine Hat and attacking when the Rattlers give them a chance. And they've taken advantage of it so far. Medicine Hat, a couple of mishaps from behind the serving line. If you're a Medicine Hat fan, you'd certainly like to see them figure that out, as they're leaving a lot of points on the board if they can keep that up. We'll have to see what both coaches have lined up coming out of this timeout. You got to think if you're Trojans head coach Chantel Lamotte, it's going to be more of the same, as her team has come out looking very, very strong so far in this one. As both teams return to the court. And we'll see the Trojans get the chance to continue serving. Taking it is going to be Leanne Arnott. She's had a couple serves already, as she had a long streak earlier in the set. So that one's going to get kept alive, popped over, and set up, but it'll be Corkery who finds it and keeps it alive. Set up for Boyles. Goes off the hands, or maybe it won't. I don't believe it actually did. Looks like even the Rattlers might be a little bit confused. But it will be their point, and they'll go back to serve. Taking it is going to end up being that Sian Shellac, a first-year libero and outside hitter.
Pass up, ladies, pass up. Slide out here.
As that one goes long. Florence setting up Boyles. I believe they might have called two-touch here.
Ladies, here we go.
As it'll go right back to the Rattlers.
Pass up now, pass up.
Lead only sitting at 3 points now. 15-12 is the score. Taking it is going to be Sienna Shellac once again.
Pass up.
As she sends it across. Popped up by Corkery. Set up for Florence, who finds Arnott. Puts it right off the hands. Once again, we've seen that play a couple times, as Arnott continues to have an excellent game.
Go, Jaden.
So that's Boyle sending it across. Will be kept alive as the Trojans get a chance to set up. Finding Corkery, taps it far. Rattlers there to recover it. Sent right over. Diving play. Ooh, nearly a good chance for the Trojans. Not quite able to find that sideline.
Good idea.
Lead still sitting at 3. So that'll be Cadence Wiggins going back to serve now.
Pass up.
She leads the Rattlers in blocks per set. That one's tapped up and tapped over. This one will get kept alive, put right back down. Sent over again. Florence sending it across for Corkery. Ooh, well-placed ball. Puts that one right inside that left corner. As they're back up leading by 4. So that'll be Peyton Van Driesten going back to serve now. She'll send it over. Rattlers set it up, blocked at the wall. And that one goes a little bit further than Corkery can reach. So they bring their lead down to only 3 now. Things have been sitting around there for the last couple serves now, as the Rattlers and Trojans continue to trade.
Slide out now. Here we go. Pass up.
Jacobson sending it across. Boyles finds it. Florence to Ferguson, but it'll be kept alive and tapped over. Off the wall once again. Boyles is there to recover. Finds Florence. Back to Arnott. We've seen that. I believe that's the 3rd one in a row we've seen. As that Florence to Arnott connection is looking real strong tonight. Trojans only needing 7 currently to take the first set. That one goes off a couple hands and straight down. Rattlers certainly not going quietly, that's for sure. So that'll be Malaya Kletzel going back to serve. 2nd year.
Go, Trojans. Here we go, ladies. Pass up, ladies. Here we go. Slide out. Here we go, ladies. Pass up.
And she'll send it across. Kept alive by Ferguson over to Florence. Sniped down by Arnott, but it'll be Sophia Ferguson who finishes the job on that one. Trojans back up, leading by 4. We're going to see, looks like it's just going to be subs. For a second, I thought it could be a timeout, but that's not going to be the case. Looks like Medicine Hat's coach will wait a little bit longer if they plan on using a second one. As Corkery loads up and fires. This one's kept alive. She'll send it over. Hit long. They're going to say that one was out of bounds, and the Trojans take another 5-point lead, building back what they had earlier in the set. And that is the same number that they need to win it as well. Corkery sends this one far. That'll get tapped over. Hit off the fence. Florence knocked over. Ferguson, as this one just gets returned over and over by the Rattlers. Not really able to get any offense going, but not giving up on defense either. Trojans staying alive. Boyles sending it over once again. Long string of plays here. Won't come to an end quite yet either. Florence sent over to Arnott, spiking it down. They'll keep it alive still. Sending it over once more, and that'll do it for that rally, as that was probably the most exciting one we've seen so far. As it'll be Corkery going back once again. Trojans only needing 4. And like I mentioned, we're going to get to see that second timeout from Medicine Hat, now down by 6. Trojans only needing 4. And I liked what I saw from the Rattlers for the most part ever since that first timeout, as it seemed like they came out with a lot more offense, scoring a lot of points and keeping things even. But in the last couple rallies at the very least, the Trojans definitely took control and have gained quite the lead so far. And you got to wonder what Medicine Hat is going to try and do to come back in this first set. But after all, it is only the first set. You want to win it, but it's not the biggest deal, as there will definitely be a chance to make a comeback even if you lose it. So it'll be interesting to see what both teams do here, as I'm sure expecting the Trojans to come out on the gas like they were before the timeout, but it'll just be up to how the Medicine Hat Rattlers can respond. Yeah.
Can I just look at it for 2 seconds? Thanks. There it is. Thank you.
Going back to serve here is going to be Taryn Corkery once again.
Serve, Taryn!
It'll be tapped over and sent down. Good play there to send it straight down. That'll be Annika Haberstock. She brings the lead down to 5 for the Trojans. And you got to get a couple rallies in a row like that if you want to get back in this one.
Side out, ladies. Pass up. Here we go.
Sending it over. Corkery keeps it alive and finds Florence. Sent up once again. Tapped across. Corkery to Florence. Finding Boyles. Kept alive by Arnott. Back across. That'll be Boyles trying to take advantage of a chance there. Not quite able to, as she won't be able to keep it inside. Trojans now only leading by 4, as that's 2 points in a row for the Rattlers. Scribner's back to take it.
Side out now.
We'll have to see whether this one is inside. They'll say it wasn't. And the Trojans get this ball right back. Only needing 3 to take this first set, like I mentioned. That'll get tapped up. Trojans able to keep it alive. And they'll end up sending it long. Not quite able to take advantage of it, though, as that one goes by that left corner. Rattlers needing 7 points. So they need to get quite a streak going if they want to get back in this one. Serving it will once again be Scribner. Boyles. That one will get kept alive. Tapped up. That'll be Scribner trying to attack there, but not quite able to get it over the fence. So the Trojans sending back Arnott to serve once again. This one gets kept alive and tapped over. That one will end up getting put straight down, though, as no one was quite there to defend it. Trojans only needing one now to take this first set. As that one goes off the hands and straight out. And the Trojans will take the first set of this one, which means we'll get a very, very short break, but we will be right back with you right after that. And that'll give Ferguson the chance to continue serving. As that one gets sent far. Trojans will get the point here. Not quite able to keep it in bounds. Score now 5-2. Ferguson sending it across, kept alive. That one ends up getting a little bit of a lob there, or a curveball might be a better way to define that one. As that one just drops a little bit at the last minute, able to get inside that line.
Pass up here, side out.
Going back to serve now will be Haberstock. Boyles will keep it alive. Gets it right back from Florence. Was it in? They'll say it wasn't. That one was real close. And that'll mean Annika Haberstock will get the chance to continue serving.
Here we go. Pass up now, side out here, side out.
Has 6 aces on the season. Won't get one here though, as that one goes straight off the netting and straight down. Going back to serve will be Leanne Arnott for the Trojans. As Arnott sends it long. That'll be kept alive. Knocked over. Sent across for Corkery, who's able to not quite find that back line. I wasn't sure at first. It looked pretty close, but so the Rattlers will get this one back here.
Go, ladies. Press up.
And kept alive. Florence setting it across to Arnott. Off the hands. And the Trojans regain a bit of a lead here. Boyles gets ready to go. That one's kept alive. Trojans get things going. Corkery not quite able to get the attack off there, but she'll keep it alive on the second attempt. Florence across to Arnott, taps it across. So that'll be sent over, but not quite able to get the attack off. Arnott goes long. It was strong enough that it went off the hands of the Rattlers defender, straight into the roof here at Rally Point. As we'll see Jaden Boyles going back to serve now. Sending it across. This one straight into the netting though, as we'll see the Rattlers get the ball right back. Going back to serve now is going to end up being Sarah Henriksen. Haven't seen too much of her tonight. She has 3 aces on the season. Won't get one here. Will be a good opportunity here for Gracie Pellicciati to go back to serve now. As we're starting to see a couple subs for both teams. So that one goes far. Kept alive by the Rattlers. A diving Pellicciati wasn't quite able, or sorry, that was Boyles, wasn't quite able to get there. Speaking of Pellicciati, we'll see her go off. Replacing her is going to end up being Emily Inglis.
Slide out, ladies, slide out. Pass up now, pass up.
As that one's kept up. Florence across to Corkery. Ooh, what are they going to say? They'll give it to the Rattlers, as they'll say that one went out of bounds on the attempt. As the Rattlers continue to keep it close. Haven't been able to build a lead of any kind so far in this second set. But they've been able to stay just a point or two behind the Trojans. As that'll be sent across by Jacobson. Hit over to Ferguson. Bit of an odd bounce on that one, but the Trojans will end up getting the point from it. Florence gets ready to go. She'll send it across, kept alive by the Rattlers. Bit of a mishap there as they tried to set up somebody right next to the netting. Was a little bit too far for her to hit. And they were able to keep it up for one more hit, but weren't quite able to get it over that one, meaning they kind of ran out of time on that one, giving the ball right back to the Trojans. Florence serve. So that one gets sent across slightly. Florence setting up Ferguson. Another odd one, but this time the Rattlers were ready for it as they keep this one alive. Florence goes long for Corkery, who goes a little bit too long herself on that one as that one goes out the back. Taking it now will be Grace Florence once again. Leads this Trojans teams in assists by quite a margin. As that one gets knocked over. Trojans will get that one as the attempt goes a little far. And they have now rebuilt that 5-point lead that they had in the first set that was able to get them the win. We'll see Florence get ready to go. Ooh, A little bit of an odd one there, as they weren't quite able to find the volley on that one, as the Trojans will continue to build their lead. As Florence gets ready to go here, you got to think we'll be seeing a timeout pretty quick if things continue to go the way they're going. So that one goes long. Inglis keeps it alive, sent across to Florence for Corkery, as she wasn't quite able to get all of what she wanted out of that one, but it won't matter as nobody was able to get to it nonetheless. And the Trojans now have a 7-point lead, leading 15-8. Florence, she'll send it across. Rattlers are ready for it, setting it up. Didn't quite get what they were looking for on that one, as she sends that one into the netting. Now an 8-point lead for the Trojans. And it looks like we will finally be seeing that timeout that I mentioned, as the Trojans currently lead by double the Rattlers. Not necessarily the start to the second set that the Rattlers wanted, but we've seen them go on streaks in this one, more specifically in the first set. It wouldn't be too shocking to see them potentially try and come out strong here and put up a real fight for this second set. And as that timer on the big screen starts to drain down here, we'll start to see both teams re-enter the court.
Go, Trojans! Go, Grace!
As that'll be Florence going back to take it now. Florence sending it across. Goes low. Rattlers able to keep it alive anyway. Ferguson able to keep it for the Trojans. Off the hands and straight down for Corkery. As that'll bring their lead up to, it'll be 9 now, as they continue to build. A chance to maybe go up by double digits if things keep going the way they're going. And it looks like they'll do it, as on that one the Trojans were able to get an easy point and go up by 10 points. As that'll be an ace for the Trojans. An impressive serve, I believe that was by Florence on that one. And the Trojans have one heck of a streak going. She'll get ready to go again. Sending it across. Popped up. Looks like she'll get 2 in a row. An impressive showing, to say the least, from Florence. Trojans now leading by 12. A lot of not too happy faces on the Rattlers side right now. And you got to think it's just about ending the set strong here if you're the Rattlers. That one stays inside, as they'll finally break the streak here and get the chance to serve. Going back to take it will be Malia Kletzel. Doesn't have an ace on the year quite yet. That one too far, as that one goes just barely outside the line. Could have been dangerous if it was a couple inches further to the right, but it won't be. Corkery serving. Popped up. Sent across, and the Rattlers will attack. And they'll be able to get that one there. Bringing the lead only to 11. Maybe a chance to get a little bit of momentum going into the third set.
Pass up now, pass up.
As we'll see someone new serving for the Rattlers here. That'll be Taylor Rose now. Ferguson across to, I believe that was Florence. That one gets sent straight down by the Trojans. As they're now at 22. They're going to send Sophia Ferguson back to serve now. Has 7 aces on the year. Getting 0.16 per set. That one gets sent across. Florence setting up Ferguson, who sets up our knots, but not quite able to get the attack off. So they'll get another chance here. That one goes off the netting and straight out of bounds. They'll say no Trojan got a hand on it. Might have been a bit of confusion there. As yeah, it is. I am going to end up being right there, as the Trojans will end up being the ball. I wasn't sure for a second there, but Ferguson will get the serve and sending it across. Tapping it off the hands of Corkery, as the Rattlers will take another point here. Taking it now, that'll be Annika Haberstock, averaging 2.45 kills per set. Wasn't quite able to get that one over the net, though. So that'll be Leanne Arnott going back to serve. That one's kept alive, sent over. They'll attack. Florence sending it across. Rattlers able to keep it alive. They'll attack. That one goes off a couple hands next to the netting and straight down, as a diving Sarah Hendrickson was not quite able to get there. Trojans now only needing 1 point to get the win on this second set here. Going back to serve, that'll end up being, that'll be Sienna Shellac, I believe. Florence. That'll be saved by Shellac. And hit across, too far. And the Trojans take the second set here at Rally Point, as they continue to look real strong in their first home game of 2024. And we'll just have to see if they can keep that up after this 3-minute break. One. And they need this set if they don't want to get swept here at Rally Point to start off the weekend. Sent across, Trojans able to block it. Rattlers will try again. Trojans block it a second time, but this time it goes out of bounds, and the Rattlers will take the first point of the set here. Going back to serve now, that is going to end up being Kletzel. Florence sent across. Ferguson puts it down and ties things right back up. Corkery's back to serve once again. She'll send it across. Kept alive. Jacobson sending it across. That one, they're going to say it goes too far, and the Trojans score 2 in a row. That'll mean another serve for Corkery. That one not too pretty, as that one hits the netting. I haven't seen too many of those from the Trojans so far in this one, as they've been very strong serving, but Taylor Rose now will serve here. Kept alive by Corkery, over to Florence. Sent down, but just barely kept alive as the Rattlers sent it over to the Trojans for a free play. Florence. She'll set up, I believe that was Henriksen. Henriksen playing the wall. Ooh, barely getting over there. It's the Rattlers sending it over. Florence across to Arnott. Not able to find ground. Florence is there to block. Sent across to Arnott. Taps it. Nobody home, and the Trojans go up by 2. Ferguson sending it across. Kept alive and put straight down. As Sarah Henriksen able to get on the attack there. Trojans now leading by 3. Or at least I believe it's 3. The scoreboard is currently disagreeing with me. Ferguson will send it across. That one's kept alive. Sent over by the Rattlers. Ferguson keeping it up. Sent across to Corkery. Tapped up once more. Sent over. Able to get it over are the Trojans, but it took 2 taps. Rattlers keeping it in the air. That'll be Florence sent to Arnott. Light one. Rattlers able to keep it alive. Sending it across. They'll get the attack off. Arnott's there to defend it, though. Florence back across to. That'll be Henriksen with another nice play. As now they'll be up by 3, as it looked like I was wrong on that call. Ferguson, she'll send it across. No issue getting it over the netting on that one, as it'll be stopped by Jacobson, who's able to set up her teammate Brooklyn Kachuk, who's able to knock that one straight down. Zalby Haberstock getting ready to go here. Not quite able to get that one over the netting. As Arnott gets ready to go. Trojans now leading by double. Score is 6-3. That one gets sent straight down by the Rustlers. As we'll see Brooklyn Kachuk coming in here to get the serve. That one's tapped up. Sent across. Sent over. But able to keep it alive. Corkery finds Florence. Sending it towards the center. Not able to get it over. Off the hands of Arnott. She doesn't know where it was. Sent back to Arnott. That one goes off a couple pairs of hands. The Trojans bring their lead up to 3. Strong start to the third set here so far. They'll send it across. A little bit too far across as that one just sails right over that back line. And the Rattlers bring their score up to 5. Going back to serve will end up being Cadence Wiggins.
Go Trojans! Pass up now!
Averaging 1.81 kills per set on the season, I should say. That was Kachuk rising up to try and get the attack there, but not quite able to get that one to go. And it'll be Gracie Pellicciati going back to serve now. There's an impressive play there, adds to her aces per set stat line. She'll get ready to go once again. That one goes straight out once again. Back-to-back aces for the Trojans, as they'll go into double digits here, now having 10 points on the board for this third set. That one going straight into the netting. So the Rattlers go back to serve now. It'll be Olivia Jacobson. She leads the team in assists per set, averaging 6.1. An impressive number to say the least. Florence setting up Ferguson, who puts it down. As the Trojans assist leader able to set her up there. She'll go back to serve. I mentioned assists on the other side there. Good chance to talk about it on the Trojans, as Florence is averaging 6.91 assists per set. An even more impressive number, and that'll end up being a point for the Trojans on a nice serve. As they continue to sit right at double what the Rattlers, sorry. We've got two teams in the ACAC, one called the Rattlers, one called the Rustlers. Occasionally I get stuck on it, but that'll be the Rattlers getting the point there. That'll be Kletzel going back to serve. Arnott sending it across. Rattlers trying to keep it alive. They just barely will on an impressive play. They'll keep it alive a second time. Excellent defense will result in a score here for them. Wow. A lot of happy fans in the crowd after that one, as they bring their lead, or the Trojans lead, down to just 4. Kletzel sending it across again. Inglis has to tap it up. That one just barely gets over and basically sets them up perfectly. And the Rattlers saying they're not done yet, as they're only down by 3 after back-to-back momentum-shifting scores. Kletzel will continue to serve here. Corkery pops it up for Florence, who finds Arnott, gets put right down at the net, and we have ourselves a game, as now they're only down by 2. And we're seeing their bench get ready to go. Kletzel sending it across. Florence setting up Ferguson. That one goes off a pair of hands, and that'll end the streak that the Rattlers had, but their momentum is still looking very, very strong in this building. Sending it across. A little bit too far, and the Rattlers will get it right back. Something to mention as well, it seems like a lot of fans have followed this Rattlers team up from Medicine Hat. Always cool to see the away teams bring a lot of fans. You normally see it when we're seeing 2 Calgary teams taking on each other here at Rally Pointe, but it's not too uncommon to see another team like Medicine Hat, for example, bring a couple fans with them, and they certainly have tonight, as this arena sure gets loud whenever they get the score. The Trojans will get this one, though, as that one goes off a pair of hands. Trojans go up by 3. Sophia Ferguson is going to get ready to serve now. She has 7 aces on the year, won't get one there. Goes off a couple of hands and straight down. Rattlers now only down by 2 as they continue to hold on, if just barely. As that'll be Florence. Sending that one to our knot as that connection, like I said, continues to look real strong for the Trojans as they continue to go back to the well on that one. As our knot sends it across. Kept alive. We'll find someone on the other side. That's Kachuk. Sending it over. Florence keeps it alive. Over to Boyles. Off the hands and straight out as the Trojans bring their score up to 16. And we'll see our knot get ready to go here. Sent over. Tapped across, able to keep it in. Able to put that one right back up. Trojans keeping it alive. Rattlers do the same. Both teams sending it across. Boyles with the attack. Rattlers defending. Jacobson across to Kachuk. Inglis diving for it, keeps it alive. Back to Boyles, back across. Rattlers are there. Over to Kachuk, who sends it over. Corkery, Florence. That was in as a smooth move brings the Trojans score up to 17. And we're going to see the first timeout here of the third set. Rattlers only down by 5, and they have done an excellent job staying right in this one as we saw quite the couple rallies in a row, getting all the fans in the building get really, really excited for the chance of a comeback, but things have started to look a little bit dimmer after a couple of quick points from the Trojans have brought their lead back up to 5 as they try and bring out the brooms here. Trojans only needing 8 as well as they start to creep closer and closer to winning this third set. Rattlers a little bit further outside as they're going to need 13 as they are just under halfway from that 25-point mark. As we'll see our knot get ready to go here. He's had a couple serves in a row. We'll see if she can put a couple more together. She'll send it across, kept alive. Knocked off the netting. And off a pair of hands. The Rattlers will get the point as they now are just down by 4 points now. As Sienna Shellac, sorry. I've got the writing a little small on my sheet over here. Shellac sends it across. That one is a nice spike. It goes straight out of bounds, and the Trojans will get another point here, bringing their lead back up to 5. Boyle's getting ready to go. Sending it across, kept alive. Jacobson back across to another Rattler as the Trojans are able to keep it in. The diving player keeps it up for the Rattlers, sending it across. That one stays inside as the Rattlers continue to stay right in this one. Still not quite back in it, but they're certainly starting to look stronger. Now only down by 4. If they can put a couple points together in a row here, they can be right back contending with the Trojans for this third set. Florence over to Corkery. As they'll give this one to the Rattlers as her spike goes sailing out of bounds. Cadence Wiggins is going to get ready to go here. Nearly a big mistake there. Trojans able to keep it alive nonetheless. Setting it up. Jacobson over to Kachuk. Keeping it alive. Over to Arnott. Kept alive once more. Back across. Good attempt there. Goes off the hands as the Rattlers continue to build their lead. Or not lead, sorry. Build back is what I should be saying. They still trail by 2. Score is 16-18. Trojans leading. As Wiggins continues to serve.
Here we go, ladies. Here we go, ladies.
Off the hands of Boyles. That'll be a diving Longhurst trying to keep that one alive. Not quite able to, though.
Trojans. Slide out, ladies. Slide out. Pass up here.
As Longhurst came in to replace Florence not too long ago. She'll set it up. Over to Corker. He sends that one long and high. As that one goes off of the roof here at Rally Point. Trojans bring their lead up to 19. Score is now 19-17. Going back to serve with it. That is going to be Gracie Pellicciati. Pellicciati will load up and fire. Sending it across. Kept alive once more. Tapped far. Longhurst setting it up for Boyles. That one goes off the top of the netting and straight down in the middle of everybody. Trojans now only needing 5 for the win. Not only to win this third set, but to win it all. Sending that one far. Jacobson sending it across. A little bit too far across as that one goes out the back and the Trojans will take it. Now only needing 4. Taking it here, that'll be Gracie Pellicciati once again. She'll send it across. Kept alive by the Rattlers for not for too long. As that one goes straight out. It looks like we're going to get to see one more timeout out of the Rattlers as things are starting to look dim here at Rally Point for the away team. Down 2-0. Now down by 5 as well. They put up quite the fight towards the end there, but the Trojans able to build back their lead. Now only needing 3. Rattlers need 5 to just tie the Trojans. Certainly not impossible, but improbable would not be the wrong word to use. Going back to serve for the Trojans will continue to be Gracie Pellicciati. Pellicciati sends it across. Jacobson able to send that one just a little bit too far and off the hand of a diving Trojan who wasn't quite able to reach it. Trojans still lead by 4. The Rattlers trying to put up one last more attempt to get things a little bit closer here in the set. It'll be kept alive. Longhurst tapped over, finding Sophia Ferguson who sends it down. Going back to serve now is going to be Trista Longhurst, averaging 4.0 assists on, or assists per set on the season, sorry. Rattlers score again. Things are getting a little bit closer. That'll be Kletzel going back to serve for the Rattlers. We've seen her take a couple important serves for the team. As she gets ready to go. Sending it across. Popped up by Inglis. Sent it to Longhurst, who finds Corkery. Will they say it was in? They won't. The Rattlers continue to build back. They're now only down by 3. Trojans need 2. We're going to see a timeout out of the Trojans, their first of this match. And it's safe to say the Trojans might be rattled, if you will. I'm sorry. Score is 23-20 in this one. Trojans still up 2-0. They need 2. Rattlers needing 5, but things are certainly not out of reach for the away team here. And to be a fly on the wall in either of these huddles, as I'm sure both coaches giving their best wisdom to both of their teams as to what to do here. Trojans just are trying to finish this one up. Rattlers trying to stay alive as they have battled back in this third set. Trojans remain ahead by 3 as they certainly need a couple in a row. Tapping it across. Boyles keeps it alive to Longhurst. They have to send it over for a free play. Tapped across. Put down. They'll give this one to the Trojans. Trojans are now 1 away from walking out of here with the point. Or with the game, sorry. As Corkery will have the serve here. She'll send it across. Rattlers attempting to send it back over. Not quite. They'll get it across. Longhurst tapping it over. They're going to give this one to the Rattlers. Not quite going home yet. Taking it here, that'll be Taylor Rose now. As they need to score. It'll be 4 in a row to stay alive here. Trojans only need 1. She'll send it across. Corkery. That'll be over to Longhurst. Sent down. Rattlers stay alive. Spike back down. And Sophia Ferguson wins this one for the Trojans as they bring out the brooms here at Rally Pointe to start off 2024. An impressive win to say the least. They bring their record up to 6-8 on the season. And that is definitely what you're looking for. Weren't quite able to get their first win of 2024, but they'll get their first home win of 2024 here. As we've got players of the game coming up here. Are we going to see Haley Adams get this one? One of the liberos for the Rattlers. And we're going to see Leanna not get it for the Trojans. Very well deserved as she had quite the game, quite a lot of attacks as both her and Florence were able to combine for a lot of offense for this Trojan squad, which ended up leading to a win here. As the teams will celebrate. I've been Simon Shaskovsky. Thanks for joining me for this one. We've got the men's game coming up in just a little bit here as both teams could have been seen warming up behind the game, and they'll be getting ready to go here in just a little bit. Make sure to tune in for that. But if not, have a good night.